Hello and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and this one is a gruesome twosome yet again.
You know us, you hate us, we're here.
You love us. Speaking of gruesome twosome, in this movie we had a great dynamic duo, Mechagodzilla
Oh man.
and Titanosaurus.
Oh yeah.
This movie,
Terror of Mechagodzilla, by the way.
Terror of Mechagodzilla, delivers.
Mm-hmm.
Like every so far Showa era movie has.
It gives you everything that you would hope for. At least as far as expectations go for like a Showa era Godzilla film, it's got everything it needs.
I mean, yeah.
Well, go on, Ian.
Elaborate, please. It's like, how do we even describe like the feeling that this movie gives me? It's obviously the story. We've talked about these movies before.
Yeah.
The story is obviously not the most robust thing in the world.
Yeah, they never are.
Right. The physical elements, like the set design, isn't like the most believable. It feels like a lower budget movie in some regards and a high budget movie in other regards.
Right.
But then again, it's like for 1975, for it being like a Godzilla movie,
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun and it's wacky and it delivers what you're expecting out of
Oh yeah.
a movie like this. And I am pleasantly surprised every time I see one of these movies. It's just because, again, it has like a format.
Right.
It has
Are you just expecting like something different every time?
No, I'm not. And that's the thing.
Mhm.
Is like I kind of know what to expect.
Right. You've gained a comfortable sense of familiarity.
Right.
With
And
the
even
formula for these films.
right, there's a formula, there's a rhythm.
Mhm.
Is what I think, is what I guess I'm trying to say. It may not follow to the exact letter each other, but each one is unique in its own way, but it all kind of feels the same. Like it all
Right.
feels like it's an era,
Mhm.
really, is what I've noticed so far out of the few movies we watched. And so far, from what I can remember, we've done Godzilla versus Megalon,
Mhm.
Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. And have
Yep.
we done any other ones for the podcast in the Showa era?
We haven't.
Okay,
Those are the only two, now three so far that we've covered.
right. And Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Mechagodzilla. This one is like a direct sequel to Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla,
Mhm.
the original one.
Yeah.
Or was there one before this, or was the one that we watched for the podcast the original one?
It was the original we
Nice.
watched
Okay.
already.
So
It
this,
doesn't follow the same characters aside from the titular monsters,
right,
but I mean that's okay.
yeah,
Their plot points are over and done with.
exactly,
King Caesar is just chilling out.
yeah,
Godzilla didn't need his help this time.
yeah. He's done his own.
I like how they just they reversed the roles. Like initially, it was Godzilla and King Caesar fucking up Mechagodzilla,
Right,
and now Godzilla's on the receiving end.
of the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, like, they feel comfortable from what I'm used to in
Mhm.
seeing these kind of movies.
Yeah.
Now that this is like number 3, it's like I kind of know what it's gonna look like. I kind of know what it's gonna feel like. And I'm okay with that because, again, it's fun,
Right.
and I've kind of gotten into a rhythm of like I know what to expect in certain elements, and I think it's still enjoyable, even though it's, for me, expected.
Dude, I cannot wait to show you Godzilla versus the Smog Monster.
Smog Monster?
Yeah, Hedorah.
Oh, I think you told me about that one.
It's one of like my favorite designs, even though he's basically like a huge garbage bag with red eyes.
I'm down.
But
Hold on a second. Wait.
oh yeah, you
Can
gotta see this motherfucker.
I just want to see. Hold on. Let's see.
It's Hedorah.
Ghidorah. Let's see. Smog monster. Oh, that is not what I was thinking.
It's a E with only one A.
E. So H-E.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
Here we go. Let's see. Oh my God! What is this?
I love him.
Wow, you're not kidding. He's just a garbage bag with legs. Garbage bag with eyes. I mean, he's got legs too, I guess.
Oh
but
man, he's real creepy looking.
Look at that version of him.
Yeah.
Wow. He's got evolution going on.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens in that one?
Oh man,
The grooviest kaiju
it is
flick ever.
I could not explain it to you. It's
Wow.
something you just have to see.
Okay, we'll put it on the list. Why is this one censored?
I have no idea.
Uh-oh. Is he shooting steam out of his no-no area?
I would hope not. It'd be fucking awful.
Right. Okay, so anyways, saying all of what I have so far, what is this?
It's another.
No
looks
way.
Is that? Yeah, that shit's signed. Is that from a comic?
I don't even know. We've stumbled across a very scantily clad woman holding up the smog monster at like a little idol.
Yeah.
With some, I guess, like plants, like an industry plant.
Yeah, like a chemical plant.
Chemical plant in the background, creating smog. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways,
back to the movie.
Like I said before, knowing what I'm getting into, it's a very, it's to be expected. Like what's going on. Like I said, I know for a fact
you
that
got at least a rough idea of how the movie's going to progress.
Right. I know the story is going to be kind of there, and it's all right, but
nothing to write home about.
But I'm going in for just the kick-ass fights.
Oh yeah,
which is what
of
it
course.
is.
And
boy, does it deliver.
Do they kick ass?
Oh, man. It follows Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla well in that regard, I think.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't a car chase.
No,
not really. But that's okay, though.
There was a scene in which a car tailed another car, but it wasn't really a full-on
but not
chase.
quite to the extent of the previous movies. It's hard. Like, where do you even begin with some of this?
Well,
it's like, okay, first and foremost, there is more aliens. Mm-hmm. Not just any kind of aliens. Aliens from Black Hole Planet 5?
3.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Haven't gotten to 5 yet.
I'm getting ahead of myself. and of course, I'm almost certain in just like Godzilla versus Megalon, they have like come to Earth.
They had the Space Hunter Nebula.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And then they create a bunker underground.
Yes, from which to control Mechagodzilla.
Right. And so it is very reminiscent of that, where there's like these, and may I say, oh wow, the costume design.
It's perfect.
Just imagine.
It's amazing.
Just imagine a stereotype like futuristic alien vibe.
Mm-hmm. All chromed out because everything is chrome in the future.
Everything is silver in the future, apparently. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but they have these helmets on with these weird face shields and these goofy antennas.
If we could pull up a picture for you, we would.
Oh, dude, I just want to Google this.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Just to see if it actually shows up. Let's see.
Black Hole Planet 3 alien.
Oh, that's even a better Google search.
Right.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Black Hole Planet 3 aliens. There you go. Look at that. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh look,
Good
and here
Lord.
and here's the other ones.
Oh yeah.
The Monkey Men. Black Hole Planet 3 aliens. So they also are. See, I told you this guy was in another movie.
Oh yeah, that's
the same guy.
Well, yeah, I guess it would make sense that they were the same. I could have sworn they were called something else.
Interesting. Well, regardless, was this in Megalon? Or was this in the first?
No, that was from the original Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Okay. Well, what I'm pointing out that what I'm realizing is like the big bad guy in the Terror of Mechagodzilla. He looked familiar, and I was like, this guy has definitely played in another Godzilla movie that we have seen recently. And Dylan was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know which one, but definitely one of them."
Yeah.
And then he pulled a picture from Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, the prequel to this movie, and it's the same guy. He was the big bad from the other one, and so I'm assuming he got better because didn't he like?
Yeah, I guess I can't remember
He
if
was
they like straight up killed him in the
I
last
don't know.
one or not, but
yeah. So it was definitely interesting. Yeah, so there's these aliens that apparently that work underground and are trying
to repair Mechagodzilla
and also
They got
reform.
fucked up last time.
They're trying to reform Tokyo into New Tokyo,
Right?
into this new thing, and obviously their plan is to do all that. There's a mad scientist that has
Dr. Mifune
that has taken control somehow of
He's
this.
developed a control system that can just control any animal.
Wow, I didn't understand that. I missed that part.
Yeah.
I thought
that's why they said he was crazy and fired him from a science lab.
Wow. I thought that he just could control what was the name? Titanosaurus.
Right.
But I guess
he just found that motherfucker sleeping at the bottom of the ocean and was like, I'm going to take you.
You're mine now.
And that was it.
Okay, I mean, that's cool, I guess. So he can control this guy, and of course, as Dylan had just said, he gets kicked out of the industry because he's a crackpot.
Right.
Or at least what it seems like.
A kook.
A kook. A kook of a character.
Right. And wacky and or zany, if you would.
Off the rails. Ne'er-do-well, I think is another term for that. But like, there are other marine biologists that like they're like are kind of our main characters in this movie. They have like their submarine got attacked by a quote unquote dinosaur,
right?
And they start doing more research and find this guy, and of course he is mysteriously, quote unquote dead, but he's not really dead. He's hiding underground in his underground bunker, working with these
freaking aliens,
Black Hole Planet 3 aliens, or whatever they're called. So it, like, and that just kind of, that's like the main plot of the movie,
right?
Is you have a mad scientist man who's controlling a giant dinosaur from the past, and they're also, the aliens are reclaiming their prized position back in Godzilla. And to summarize, I realize now watching the third one of these movies, to get the full breadth, the full scope of these like fight sequences and how just quirky and fun they are, you just have to watch it.
Yeah, we can't do it justice.
I realize in the past 2 times we've done this, I think we've done a really good job hyping it up and making it feel like it's this really awesome sequence. And I believe they're great.
Way more of a spectacle than it has any right to be.
But the more the more I think about it, I'm like, you just gotta see it.
It's awesome.
You just gotta see it. It's like just to watch these wacky camera angles, these just impressive pyrotechnics,
right?
And fireworks,
dude.
It's impressive.
Besides like the costumes, I feel like that's where most of the budget goes. Besides like building all these miniature cities,
just to destroy them.
Yeah, all the stuff that they need to just destroy it all is probably more expensive.
Yeah, the actual pyrotechnics and fireworks, because there's a lot of like fireworks, and it looks like these big flashes of light and these colors everywhere. It's so cool.
There are some that look like fireworks, and there are some that just look like straight up bombs.
Oh yeah,
going off.
Just a pyro bomb, a big old flame cloud. And you're like, what is going on here? How do you do that? Yeah. It's just impressive because it's funny and it's weird and I would say go into it like really suspending your disbelief.
Yeah, do not expect any sort of masterclass in cinema from these films.
No. Just go into it wanting to have a fun. And I'm pretty sure I've said this probably 100 times in regards to these movies. Go into it with having a fun time,
right.
and like
for all intents and purposes, these are bad movies.
Yeah,
but they're so bad that they're good.
Right. Is it WWE, like wrestling?
Yes.
Like the kind of like, what is it?
Dude.
It's like that. Like we all know it's not real.
It's so well choreographed.
Exactly. It's a performance. It's a work of some art and some variety. It's fun. It go into it with
charming.
Yeah. Is it go into it with that mindset of like, this is obviously staged,
right?
I mean, it's a movie, obviously, but like, I mean, like, and even further,
two guys in rubber suits beating the snot out of each other.
But just have fun for a second.
Right.
Believe that it is a giant robot fighting a giant lizard creature fighting a robot version of himself.
Right.
If you can even believe that, it's like just have that level of fun for a second.
I'd pay to see that shit in theaters, man.
And just have a friend with you that's willing to be like,
like I wish that there were more showings like this in like theaters nowadays.
Oh man, because for a fact,
be going to the movies so much more often.
It's so much fun because I think I also have you here with me, hyping it up like it's a real fight.
Definitely depends on your enjoyment. Will depend on like who you watch these with.
Right. If you go into it look like pessimistic and like obviously like critical,
so bad.
I mean, but yes, but it's also if you're able to have that little bit of fun for yourself and just like
of course it looks bad. What the fuck do you expect?
Just hype them up like it's a real fight. It just makes it so much more fun. And that is what happened. That is what has happened throughout the past like 3 iterations of these films that we've talked about so far. That I've realized now. This a go around, I was thinking about it, and there's just these moments where like they kind of like they move pretty slow and methodical a lot of times, but there was a few sequences where like
it's just
super speed. It is like full speed, like man in a suit, just like
swinging his
beating
arms.
the shit out of a man.
Oh yeah,
it's like what is going on here? And then you're like, oh shit, look at him go! And he's like he's just like. Punching the hell out of this guy. You're like, oh man, it's so much fun.
If you have any sort of like semblance of childlike wonderment and joy within you, you will find yourself cheering in any of these films.
And I think that's why it's so fun, is because we're able to have that sort of mindset towards this.
I mean, that's the only mindset to have, really. I can't. I can't really fathom you watching this movie under any other pretext other than just. Like,
I just know that
I'm here to watch a dumb monster beat the shit out of another.
Right, and I think I'm saying that because I know there's probably somebody out there that thinks like that.
Right.
That
I mean, that's not fine.
Right. Is not going to enjoy these films because they're thinking too critically about it.
It's not everybody's cup of tea.
But there are some, like, for me, I am that person in some regards, like with certain bad movies that are bad, that some people are like, oh, it's so bad it's good. I've watched and like, no, this is just bad. Like but I know it's because I'm not having the same sort of fun that you are making fun of the product.
Yeah.
This is more in my wheelhouse of like, it takes itself seriously in some degree.
To an extent.
And it is like part of this universe. Like there is like an understood like function of the universe. Mm-hmm. Whereas it's like I've watched some dumb movies that just make no sense. I'm like, this just is like, it's just bad for the sake of being bad. And sometimes like I don't
like a waste of time.
Yeah, like sometimes I don't like that. So, but I'm only prefacing that because I know that I'm talking to myself in that regard sometimes too. It's like, just have some fun sometimes, which is okay. But yeah, this is a.
I would only ever look at it that way if it's something that is like, it either has a crazy pedigree behind it.
Right.
Like it's a long running series and it's like a new installment. I'm going to have my expectations pretty high.
Yeah.
But I mean, under any other circumstance.
Star Wars. sorry, I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
We won't go there.
Woof. But yeah, see, Godzilla does have a hell of a pedigree.
Oh man. And not only that, I feel like even the more recent iterations of it, even the people who have been critical about it, I still think it's good.
Yeah.
It's good in its own regard, and I think it finds a way to make itself to take itself seriously and also have fun with itself.
It's some crazy kind of magic that they just bottled up, I feel like, where it's just immune to critical thinking because of what it is. I have probably many times to you, and probably on the podcast as well, have so far given my biggest round of applause to Legendary Pictures for handling that. Because I got introduced on those movies, and from a technical standpoint, I'm like, these are beautiful. This is amazing. It's fun. It has the same sort of feeling that the first and only. Let's be honest. What was it called again? The Pacific Rim. Oh yeah,
the first and only one that we'll speak of.
Dude.
But that one,
that's the only one that exists.
Exactly. I knew you'd get that joke.
Woof.
But is that Pacific Rim gave me that same sort of vibe of like you're a 10-year-old boy again, right? And you're just watching big robots beat the shit out of aliens, and it's just fun. And it's like just buckle up and be along for the ride, kind of thing. And those movies kind of did that. But not only that, but it gave so much more like epicness to the whole thing, where it's like this is like, not only is it fun and it's like crazy, but it paid so much homage to this like series been going on for years and years. Yeah. And it did it justice, I think. It's really good.
I think the only film in the entire series so far that took itself seriously and actually like did a good job with it was the 2014 Godzilla.
Yeah, like the first one in the new series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that one, like, there's no silliness and or goofiness to be seen like, whatsoever.
But that's okay though. I think.
But it worked.
Yeah, because I think
it was really good.
I think it also. I think it was like it was the first one. I think of it as like the pilot, right? Kind of. It's like putting out an idea, seeing how it gets received, and then like expanding upon it from there.
Making sure that it's nothing like the 1998.
Oh, okay.
Which you have not seen yet.
Speaking of, we won't talk about it. I've heard nothing but bad things about it.
Oh, as you should.
As you should. But that's I think it was like testing the waters. It got out there, and I think it got pretty well received because they got greenlit for a shit ton more. But the very next one from that is Godzilla King of the Monsters?
King of the Monsters, yes.
King of the Monsters. And it even inside that one kind of had some little bits in there.
Yeah. That one, they were just like more willing to just go all out with it.
Right.
Which I feel worked in their favor.
Of course. But I think it's that
it felt more like a traditional Godzilla film. Like,
right.
The human story's nothing to write home about as usual.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're just there for the action.
Oh, of course. But I think the most recent one, the newest Godzilla versus the Godzilla versus Kong, which then, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spoil anything. If you haven't seen it, it's been out for a while.
It's fine.
But that one even had some comedic elements in it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I thought were like funny, not just between the actors, but between like the monsters themselves were like some pretty funny stuff. And so like I love that. And I think, I don't know, this has been a long-standing series of movies, and I think they're doing a great job.
Oh yeah.
But to get back to the one that we're talking about right now, Terror of Mechagodzilla, these are a different breed of movie than those.
Oh yeah. It's like the crystallization of the Showa era.
Yeah. The suits are like just strange and quirky enough for me that it's like a little weird.
Yeah.
But it's also, it sells the idea of it though. I think it's a lot of fun. I loved the moment whenever I keep wanting to say Tyrannosaurus. It's Titanosaurus.
Yes.
He comes out of the water for the first time, and he starts just like wrecking shit in Tokyo.
Oh yeah.
And there's like all the tanks, and just like many of these other movies, there's the shot of like the big monster over the city. Everyone's running and screaming. Right. I mean, obviously you have to have
it's a staple.
And then just like what I've noticed too, another kind of trope that always shows up in these movies is like lines of tanks, guns of many varieties.
Oh yeah,
ships flying.
They're unloading.
Oh
everything.
yeah, they're just everything's being fired. There's explosions. Avail. Nothing's happening, and I love that. But when that happens,
it's almost like a fucking benchmark to see if the monster is actually worth his shit. Like,
oh yeah. If they can,
like if tanks and like planes don't do anything, I mean, like, okay,
yeah,
when's the other monster gonna show up?
Right. Now we got a real monster on our hands. If the military can take him out, nah, you're not a real monster around here.
Shit.
Yeah, but anyways, when all that's going down, there's just this like group of buildings kind of on the horizon, sort of, and then there's just this figure that like just
rises
almost like a like Mario coming out of the pipe or whatever, you know, just like
just out of nowhere,
yeah, just like elevatoring. What
like
is it?
No build up whatsoever.
No, and just like slow,
just
and it's
appears,
and it's just a shadow silhouette, and like he pokes his head up like a little mole coming out of his ground.
And the next shot you see is Titanosaurus getting fucking blasted.
Oh man, just getting wrecked
by atomic breath.
Yeah, and
at
then
which point, of course, you know the motherfucker himself showed up.
Oh man. Shit's about to go down, and then like it zooms on his face,
lightning strikes in the background,
of course, and it always, in a moment like that, they always get a good shot of the mask, like the face of the.
They make him
suit.
Look vicious.
Oh man, they get it.
Film.
They do a good like camera angle on like him looking down. So he's almost like looking down, but he has his eyes pointed up.
Yeah.
Like that kind of crazy look. But so he has, it almost looks like he's like has his eyebrows
he's pissed.
Pointed inward, like he's like he's angry. But obviously the mask is not doing anything like special. Right. But it's just the angle with which they have the lens on him. It just looks like he like this lightning strikes. He just like got finished spitting fire.
The grumpiest motherfucker.
And he's just like, you better get out of my town. It's what it feels like. It has that essence of like, nobody destroys my town but me. That's what it feels like. It has that kind of like, obviously there's no dialogue between these monsters.
Right.
But just the personality of these suits and just the camera work and the motions, it tells a story in and of itself. And that's what I think is so fun, is like to have somebody here with me that can just riff off of these hilarious situations. And I love that. But yeah, it's definitely a fun time. These movies.
I'm gonna be honest. This like Terror of Mechagodzilla has been like up there with some of my favorites for a while. But after seeing the original after so long, I've gotta say I prefer the original.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I still like them both, but god damn. Like the original somehow manages to be even more bombastic than its own sequel.
I think it helps that they have King Caesar in that one,
dude.
And he's just, when you talk about like
I love King Caesar.
He has his costume. I feel like has a freedom of movement that the other ones don't quite have.
Glorious.
And so I feel like he's caught in that movie, like running more and like, like just going,
motherfucker's
like,
fast.
Just going buck
and
wild,
like flexible too.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think like because of how these suits are shaped,
it's hard to work with.
Well, they're very almost pear shaped. Like obviously he has a long neck and he's got these arms, but he has like this very robust, I don't want to say bottom. That sounds
rotund.
Rotund bottom.
Yeah,
he's a thick boy, but but he has like pretty dense thighs, and they're like not super mobile.
Yeah,
and they all kind of have that feeling. But for some reason,
always been a bit cantankerous.
But King Caesar had all his weight in his like shoulders and head area.
Built.
His like he's jacked. He's jacked. He is. He's what does Ethan always say?
Shredded,
yoked. I think is what he's. Yeah, he's yoked. His boy has like shoulders and a big old head on him.
Oh yeah,
but he has like the freedom of leg movement, which I think is not very well represented in these monsters.
Oh yeah.
So even just a little bit of movement, he's like just running around like a crazy man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have so much fun watching these, and I can't wait to watch it. But you told me that this one's the last one in the Showa era.
Yes, that is correct.
And do you know exactly how many there are in the Showa era?
Oh gosh,
is it a lot?
It's a good bit.
Okay.
I mean, I'd have to look up like a list, but I'm ashamed to say that I don't know the exact amount by heart by now.
Oh, they also showed some footage of other.
Oh yeah.
Other Godzillas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other Godzilla monsters in the films.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, look, alternate titles. Here we go.
Oh goodness.
Mechagodzilla's counterattack. Wow.
Monsters from an unknown planet.
Wow.
In England? Jeez.
Yeah. Germany had the title The Devil's Spawn.
Dude.
Oh, that's legit.
Oh my God.
In Italy, Destroy Kong. The Earth is in danger.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wow.
For whatever reason, I think it was almost exclusively in Italy. Most of the Godzilla films were rebranded as like King Kong films.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
I can't remember why.
Turkey fighting in the Starfield. What an interesting...
That's amazing.
These are all interesting titles. And they all released kind of within the same year range of each other.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Only 2 or 3, like a year or 2 afterwards.
Look at that poster.
The mighty Titan of Terror.
Wow. Dude, and then just thinking about the ending as well.
Mm-hmm.
How like...
I love that ending shot. I'm just going back into the sea as it's like tinted by the sunset.
Yeah, it's not even just that. I mean, it is that too, but it's also like it's again the same sort of format as other movies in this era I've seen so far. Is like the monster is fighting the other monster, the good monster versus bad monster, usually Godzilla versus somebody else,
right,
is fighting each other, and there's some sort of upper hand or advantage that the humans then work out behind the scenes, which then kind of turns the tide of the fight.
Right.
And that kind of is like a standard format, which again, it's fine. It works. It obviously it's interesting and it tells a very good story. And in this one, our girl, who's like an android, is like the brains of Mechagodzilla. And oh man, we totally glossed over the fact that they they shoot Titanosaurus with some sort of like some sort of
the sonic
I forgot
sound
what it's
wave
called,
like receiver.
Right. Some sort of they shot him with like a full size bazooka.
As soon as they hit him with that shit, they crank the volume up to like
that guy's
million.
Like, ow, shit.
Like, I can only imagine it's just like the loudest ringing in your ears you could imagine.
He has, was it tinnitus?
Like
to 10.
Titanic tinnitus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, titanitis.
Oh God,
I tried. No, but like obviously they crank it up and it's like or whatever, like the old 1970s
visible
vibe.
Sound waves.
Yeah, right. But he's just like whoever is in the suit
is losing his mind.
Is doing the best job I've seen at like a monster.
I thought they were actually transmitting that shit into the suit.
If I didn't know any better, that man is having a panic attack because he starts like flailing his arms around. He's like, and it's like running around.
Oh yeah.
I think at one point in time he's on the ground rolling around or something. Yeah. He's just like, oh man,
just in excruciating pain.
And then of course Godzilla diverts his attention to Mechagodzilla. He's like, it's showtime.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, they start like
wrecks his shit,
duking it out. You told me there's a scene where one of the suits that gets caught on fire?
Yes. Whenever Mechagodzilla starts just laying in the full barrage of like all of his armaments, there is a shot where you can see like the suit actor running, and the entire like back of the suit is in flames.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's one of those moments. It's one of those moments that if you actually get that on film, you're like, yeah, there's no way we're not going to put that in the film. We're going to put that in the movie because, like, not only are we going to use up all of our explosives, but the suit's going to catch on fire, and we got the shots of him running towards the correct direction. Oh yeah, it's going in the movie for sure.
There's no other way. I mean, we can't reshoot it now.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Back of the suit's fucking melted.
Yeah. You know what? We're just going to go ahead and say that was a win. Yeah, we got something.
It worked out.
Yeah, it's just a fun fight where there's like so much going on. After he rips the head off, there's like this space dome looking thing underneath the neck or whatever.
Like the control system.
Yeah, and it like fires a laser. And it's
goes
like
right through him.
Oh man, there's like, because again you don't really see any facial expressions. You have to go by like the hand movements and stuff. By the way, I love the like 1-2 punch they do when they get ready for stuff. Because Titanosaurus did it at one point in time. He like whenever he does his
open up his tail,
his tailwind, he does like a little. There's like this like
the best.
If you've ever seen what is it? What movie is it? Oh come on, is it Sherlock Holmes? Whenever the meme that's like you have to like cock your fists.
I think so.
There's like a fight. I think it's in Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
There's like a meme, I think, at one point where it's like, you know, it's about to go down when a man has to like cock his fists, or like he has to like it's almost like loading a gun.
Right.
The monsters in this film do that. They get their fists together and they go, they like do like 1-2 punch in the air and get their fists up, and you're like, it's about to go down.
Like, oh fuck.
Right. Yeah, but like, but anyways, as I was saying, there's like. Because you don't have any like facial expressions or like
all you have to go by are like the motions and the sounds,
right? And a lot of times he gets shot to the shoulder and you're like, oh man, he's doing all right, and then it's like, oh no, he falls back down, you're like, oh man, he's not good.
Yeah, they'll hit you with the really high pitched screonks.
Yeah, a little scream. I just want a little wee screonk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in those fights, like in that last fight where he's like, again, obviously the humans are getting the upper hand in the fight, so are getting the upper hand.
Yeah, they're like messing up the control system.
Right.
The cyborg that is now functioning as the control system gets shot.
Right.
So of course Mechagodzilla's getting all fucked up.
Yeah. And then he just goes in and then like, I love the scenes where they kick or throw them.
Yes.
It defies gravity. And to be honest,
it
defies physics. Just like inertia, all of it. All the laws that this world has.
Yeah.
The surly bonds of this planet are no longer a problem.
Right.
He gets kicked by a Titanosaurus.
And there's like there's a second, at least a full 2-second delay before he actually like goes flying.
Oh man. Just imagine getting kicked real good and then
yeah,
and that's exactly the
takes
feeling
a second
of it.
For it to go through,
and not just like a little bit. Imagine like going up in the air and then over a ridge of hills. Yeah. That's what happened.
Like over a full stretch of parking lot.
He gets right. He gets kicked in the gut one good time. You're like, oh shit, and you're like, whoa shit, dude. It's like, oh my god, look at him go. Yeah, so that's kind of the point that happens. But that same sort of wonky physics happens a lot of times where like he'll grab them or whatever and then like throw them, and then it's like whoa. And I love it.
Like they'll just be motionless, flying through the air.
Right.
No moving parts whatsoever.
Because and it all stems back. If I'm being honest, oh jeez. It all stems back from the slide kick from
yes.
Oh man, I can't.
Greatest cinematic moment in movie history.
Greatest fight sequence I've ever seen in my entire life, and it brings tears to my eyes just talking about it.
Oh yeah,
is when Godzilla. Just in case you guys haven't seen it or heard of it,
we're gonna hit it with you again.
Is whenever Godzilla goes ahead and runs back, cocks his fist real good. And then jumps and then goes at a straight parallel to the ground. We're talking 100% horizontal and is sliding at full speed
on his tail
and
to deliver a devastating drop kick to any soul unfortunate enough to be in his way.
And I'm pretty sure Jet Jaguar is holding him down.
Oh yeah,
like he's like, hold this man still. And he does a double head kick, gets him off the ground, walks over there back again, and goes like, round two, and does it again. And it has that same sort of like, that makes no physical sense in any way. But it's just so funny.
It is the greatest thing my eyes have ever seen.
I love it.
Nothing will ever compare.
It warms my heart.
My child
every time.
being born, get the fuck out of my face.
Nowhere near will this compare to the double foot slide kick from Godzilla versus
impossible.
What was it again?
Godzilla versus Megalon.
Megalon. Okay. Wow. It's beautiful. But that kind of physics is, like I said, at least they're consistent. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I can guarantee like it's
something that insane will happen at least once while you're watching the film.
Right. I wouldn't even wager twice.
Maybe. Yeah. It's within the realm of possibility.
A giant
that you'll be lucky enough to see something like that twice.
A giant monster will have will break physics at least twice in the movie.
It's more than most can say. It's a fucking crime. More people haven't seen that.
I love it. The thing is, as I have said many times in this show, and I apologize if you've all heard it before, but for those of you who have not or may have not, Dylan introduced me to Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the newest film that came out a couple of years ago.
Right.
And I was intrigued. I loved it. I went in just like I would with most of their films like this. Like, I just want to have a good time.
Right.
I have no preconceived ideas. I don't know what to expect.
It was so just out of the blue. I still can't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
I came out that day, and I was like, shit, I got to see it with somebody.
And I was like, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down. I think I just clocked out of work, and I was having some lunch. And you called me and you were like, let's go to the movies. And I was like, you know what? I'm down.
Sure.
Sounds like a great time. And I was like, and I think I even told you, like, I know nothing about Godzilla, but I'm down. You're like, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Like, oh, that's perfect.
That's perfect.
It could not have been like more perfect conditions.
Right. And then, of course, I loved that movie for many reasons, and I still do. And I think you showed me some other ones, but you kind of gently brought me into the older films that are more.
I could not start you off with the OG stuff.
Oh man, but I think, and I'm gonna give a big kudos to Dylan here. I think you handled it well because I think you have shown me enough, and you have handled it like you have like kind of.
I worked backwards. I started you off with the newest.
Yeah.
Back to the slightly less new.
Yeah. And we've kind of, and just like with Gundam a little bit, we've kind of ping-ponged around to some of the like select ones.
Right.
But man, my love for Godzilla has grown substantially in the past year or year and a half or whatever. And I am sad that these moments that we're talking about, like this double foot drop kick, I didn't know sooner. But man,
I'm telling you.
I'm glad that I know about it, though.
Good. You should be.
It has added some joy to my life, which I think in the long run is always a good thing.
Add joy to anybody's life,
Come on. If you haven't...
that will no doubt put a smile on your face without fail.
The thing is, I would wager... You can look it up on YouTube. It's easy.
Oh, yeah.
Just like anything else in the world. But obviously, I would suggest watching some of the newer ones, watching some of the older ones, get a feel for it. But if you
can find anywhere to watch the older ones,
right?
That's a tough one.
If you have the ability to watch Godzilla versus Megalon at some point, and you're wanting to have a fun time, and you, just like I said at the beginning of this episode, are willing to suspend disbelief a little bit, or just have that little bit of fun and just maybe sit down with a friend or a significant other and you're willing to have that sort of fun, and you like a kind of a bad movie, but it's also kind of good.
See, that's gonna be the tough part. If they have like no experience with that, like Godzilla versus Megalon on its own without any prior knowledge to the series is gonna be a hard sell.
And I'm not even saying that. I'm saying like obviously watch some, but I'm talking about for the scene that we're talking about specifically. I would recommend watching the film. There's obviously a buildup, and again, especially if you're hyped the whole way through, like we were, like I was specifically as well. It makes that moment so much more powerful when it happens. You're just like, I'm
so upset that we haven't gotten to watch any of these with Ethan.
Oh. I didn't even think about that. Why haven't we?
I have no idea.
Oh, dude.
We're doing him a disservice.
We're doing him such a bad disservice.
When he gets back from vacation, we'll rectify that issue. Also, birthday shout out.
Yes.
It's our boy Ethan's birthday.
We're going to date the episode a little bit. We're recording this on Ethan's birthday. So happy birthday, my guy. Yeah. I know this is going to come out a couple days after that. Our boy, he's going to go run off to Kentucky for a week. He's going to go, I think he said it's the Bourbon Trail, I think, which I mean, it's like a couple of distilleries you go to.
Oh my God. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. So I think him and his roommate buddy are going to go, also is like his, whiskey collector buddy are going to go have that kind of moment for themselves.
That's going to be so nice.
I'm excited for him. And he said he's going to take pictures and come back with stories. So I would imagine that not the episode you're listening to today, but hopefully next week, next Friday, I think he should be back.
Return.
He should be back by then, and I'm hoping to get him on to talk. Maybe not, because it may be a little too soon.
Right.
I think he's going to get into
town. Give him
a
nice little grace period.
Right. So if not next week's episode, hopefully by the time the new year comes out, you'll hear some stories from him. But we definitely need to watch some of these Godzilla movies.
Dude. These are
if not for the podcast, just for our sake.
Just for his sake.
Oh, man, because, dude.
He needs to see these.
Please. I still say, I don't think we've done one for Final Wars, have we?
We haven't. I
so badly want to sit down. To be honest, I want it to just be you and I, because this is a special moment for the two of us. I'm sorry that I am, I don't want to share my love of Godzilla with you, with somebody else. But I would love to watch Final Wars with Ethan as well, because you want to talk about a fever dream.
We went and, I had shown Ethan King of the Monsters 2.
Oh, really?
Whenever it had, whenever it came out, we had gone to see it with Chase also.
Okay.
And I mean, from what I gather, it was a long time ago, but he did like it. I know
That's
that
good.
for sure. But man, he has to see this shit.
We also, because to keep a promise that we made a long time ago, I would like to rewatch the new Godzilla vs. Kong.
Oh yeah,
and talk about that one.
Because
I have a lot to say about that.
That was a good.
It was a good movie, dude.
Oh yeah.
I have one vivid memory that I think will probably stay with me for a while.
Yeah.
And that was whenever I'm not going to spoil it too much, but there is a moment when an item is shown and something happens, and I had a sneaking suspicion that I knew what it was. I remember looking at you and you're like,
it's like they wouldn't. There's no fucking way.
And then I was like, but I think they would though.
Yeah.
And then as the movie progressed, what I had suspected at the very beginning actually does come true. And I remember seeing his face being like, there's no freaking way.
I was baffled.
Oh man.
I couldn't fucking believe it.
And I think it's because we had this previous viewing of all the movies, and you have established this sort of relationship with Godzilla, and I don't know, it made that moment so impactful of all this other stuff we watched, all this other fun experience of all this kind of stuff, and then just to have that moment where it's like, oh man, this is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
that wraps her up.
What a good episode. I love the Godzilla movies. They're just so fun. Anyways, if you're looking for ways to find us, you can type in The Aftermath on all the podcasting platforms out there, and you should be able to find us. If not, you can type in...
We can't hide very well.
Yeah, You can go to linktree/Ian Wolf, and you can find all of our social media links there, all the other places you can find us if you need that. But until next week, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate all of you.
See you.
Bye-bye.